back into the action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Monday edition of Chasing That Paper, presented by VegasInsider.com. And oh, baby, back to our winning ways. Iain and I coming off another winning Football Friday show, combined to go 7-3 Conference Championship weekend. Shout out to Iain. 4-1, a red-hot 2023 continues for a guy, Iain, who is joining us again today. 6 total picks today. A bit of a light schedule, I guess, as far as sports betting world goes, especially in the NHL. We'll be covering the NBA, college hoops, and the NHL. Second half of the show, we got a lot to discuss. Pretty busy day yesterday in the NFL. We are set up for a very sexy Super Bowl matchup. Let's bring in our co-host for the day, Mr. Iain MacMillan, Mr. 4-1. Look at him! Look at him! How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Joe. 4-1 with my picks this week that I gave out on the show. I'm 11-1 with my spread picks on the 12 playoff games so far. I'm 20-5 on my total NFL picks, including player props this postseason. I'm also hot in the NHL. This month has been the hottest month I've ever had in gambling, and it also happens to be the first month in a few years that I haven't drank. So I'm a little bit concerned that my winning ways in sports betting is correlated with not drinking. I might never have an alcoholic beverage ever again in my life.
Yeah, I don't think that's a coincidence, Iain.
Might not
He
be.
stops drinking, and he has the best betting Terry's ever been on. Yeah, we don't want to encourage people not to drink around here, though. So we will need a bigger sample size from Iain, though, to determine if it is a coincidence or if there's something to do with his dry January and hot betting start to the year here. So before we get into the picks, guys, do me a favor. If you're on YouTube right now, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button right down there. It makes us look pretty good when we go to the bosses around here and say, we want more money. God damn it. Point to the likes and subs. All right, let's get right into the action here for tonight. Interesting game in the NBA. We have the Golden State Warriors in Oklahoma City taking on the Thunder. I like the home dog. Give me the Thunder. Coming in at +5. Indeed. There we go. This is way too many points to be giving the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're on a tear right now. That's seen them go 15-3 against the spread as an underdog of 4 or more points. They're a fantastic bet as an underdog in general. 24-11-1 ATS on the season when getting points. And quite simply, a red-hot bet right now. 10-1 ATS. In their last 11 games, those are trends. We got to back them up with some stats. You dig into the numbers here, they are close or better than Golden State in many key stats over the last 10 games. Golden State edges them out in EFG percentage. However, OKC is better over that 10-game sample size in points per 100 possessions, turnover percentage by a wide margin, opponent EFG percentage, where OKC is number 1, opponent turnover percentage, and points allowed per 100 possessions, just to name a few. And of course, the Warriors absolutely stink on the road. 6-18 straight up. That is absolutely pathetic. 27th in opponent EFG on the road. Give me the OKC Thunder to give the Warriors a game and cover that number at +5 tonight. All right, next up, we switch gears over to college hoops. What are we looking at first, Iain?
Yeah, we got a little ACC matchup tonight between Virginia, the Cavaliers, and the Syracuse Orange. And I'm going to take Virginia -5.5 here. Going to lay the points with the Cavaliers. First things first, I just need to get this on record. Jim Boeheim, stop with the zone defense. Enough. Actually, stop with your coaching altogether. It's time for you to retire. You're like 96 years old. Teams have figured out the zone defense, especially teams in the ACC. The game has passed you by, Jim. It's time to stop. And Virginia's interior defense, speaking of defense, it's going to cause some issues for Syracuse. Syracuse ranks 26th in the country in two-point shot rate. 70.7% of their shots come down low. Virginia, 19th in opponent two-point field goal percentage, keeping teams shooting just 44.7% from two-point range. And finally, there is a stat that I've loved when handicapping college basketball this season. It is extra scoring chances per game, which takes into consideration things like turnovers, opponent turnovers, offensive rebounding, opponent offensive rebounding. Virginia, 50th in the country in extra scoring chances per game, plus 3.3. Syracuse, 170th at just plus 0.1. So I'm going to lay the points here with the Cavaliers tonight. Virginia, minus 5.5.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was taking a close look at Iain there when he was going into his read. I think he's looking pretty good since he stopped drinking. The skin, he's got a nice glow to him.
Wow.
So who knows what the future holds. Yeah, nice compliment there to Iain. Compliments I give them when they are deserved. All right, let's continue on here with the picks, and let's continue on here with this Warriors-Thunder game. Of course, I'd like the Thunder to give the Warriors a game, but I like Steph Curry to have a big game. So let's take a swing on Steph Curry to score 35 or more points. That one's going off at plus 330 tonight. So excellent matchup here for Curry because OKC is getting cooked by opposing guards. Last 10 games, they are 29th in points allowed to guards, 27th in threes allowed to guards, and 30th in free throw attempts allowed to guards. So expect a lot of freebies in this one for Steph Curry. He leads the Warriors in free throw attempts. 2 separate games. He's had double-digit free throw attempts over his last 5 games. And what do you know? He's red hot in that span. He's averaging 33 points per game over his last 5. Great spot for him here tonight. Great number to take a swing on here tonight. Curry, 35 or more points, plus 330. All right, right back to college hoops. What do you got next, Iain?
Yeah, I'm looking at the game of the night here. It is Grambling State against Alcorn State. A little SWAC action. I'm going to take the Grambling State Tigers. Grambling State, more like Gambling State. There you go, well Tito. Done. Good job. That was a bad one, though. Maybe a wah sound effect would have been a little bit. All right, let's get into the pick. Laying the minus 5.5 points here with Grambling State. Let's look at Alcorn State's offensive numbers here. Just absolutely pathetic. 359th in effective field goal percentage. 43.1% is their EFG percentage. That's pitiful, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
and that's going to be even worse tonight because they take on a Grambling State team who also, to be fair, isn't actually great offensively either. But they are great defensively. 44th in the country in defensive efficiency. Alcorn State, brutal in this area as well. 222nd in defensive efficiency. But this is definitely a game. We need to take a look at some home and away splits between these two teams. Grambling State's EFG percentage up 5.9% at home. Their opponent effective EFG percentage at home goes down 5.4%. But Alcorn State, this is the big one. Their effective field goal percentage goes down 9.7% when they're playing on the road. They have an EFG percentage on the road of 40.8%. I could walk down the street, point to 5 guys, and we could have a better EFG percentage than 40.8%. That is just pathetic. They need to get demoted to D2. And also, Grambling State's average scoring margin, minus 3.8 on the road, but all the way up to plus 13 at home. That's a difference of 16.8 points. After some quick mental math. Give me Grambling State, Gambling State, minus 5.5.
Gambling State. Clever stuff for me. And okay, let's hit the ice. Just one game in the NHL tonight. We got the St. Louis Blues in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, taking on the Jets. This game has a total of 6 goals. My best bet, give me the under in this one. So check out this trend. Connor Hellebuck expected to get the start tonight for the Jets, and the Jets have stayed under 7 total goals in 16 of his last 17 starts. Hellebuck, the pride of Commerce Township, Michigan, has a sparkling 203 goals against average at home, where the Jets are 17-6-2 to the under. Check out each offense, some pretty underwhelming play from each. You know, the Jets stand out as a strong defensive team, but offensively, each club is a complete and total bore, especially St. Louis, whose offense is awful on the road. Check out their road splits. 27th or worse in Corsi for, expected goals for, and high danger chances for over their last 10 road games. I like a low-scoring one tonight in Winnipeg. Give me under 6. All right, Ian, bring it home for us. Your final pick of the show. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm looking at what might actually be the best game of the night in a pretty light board all across sports here. But I'm looking at college basketball, looking at the Big 12, taking Iowa State, Texas Tech under 129.5. First of all, both of these teams extremely good defensively, 10th and 49th in defensive efficiency, so they both rank in the top 50 in that stat. But turnovers are going to play a huge role in this game tonight, and I think it's going to lead to an under because both these teams cough up the ball a ton, 225th and 286th in turnovers per possession, but they also force a lot of turnovers. First in the country is Iowa State. Texas Tech coming in at 39th in opponent turnovers per possession. If you turn the ball over, that means you're not getting a shot off. If you're not getting a shot off, the ball's not going in the hoop. If the ball doesn't go in the hoop, points aren't put on the board. So I think a lot of turnovers tonight is going to lead to an under. And also, one of my favorite stats in college basketball, floor percentage, which is the percentage of a team's possessions that result in at least 1 point being scored. So opponent floor percentage would obviously be the percentage of your opponent's possession that result in at least 1 point being scored. 8th and 26th, two of the very best teams in the country in preventing any kind of points from their opponents. I think all of this leads to a low-scoring game tonight. The Cyclones, the Red Raiders, under 129.5.
Yeah, 129.5. There you have it, guys. 6 total picks. If you're looking to tail or fade any of our action, the choice quite simply is yours. I recommend placing your action over at BetMGM. Let me tell you a little bit about them. Sign up with BetMGM using bonus code VIBONUS and get a $50 bonus bet plus up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. That's VIBONUS, all one word, no spaces, and you get $1,000 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win. Once again, just use the code VIBONUS. All one word, no spaces. Just visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older to wager. Offers for new customers only. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Yeah, guys, if you're going to be betting, you might as well be taking advantage of these bonus offers. It's one of the rare areas where us bettors can take advantage, well, not take advantage of the sportsbook. They're giving that to us, but something you should be taking advantage of. A lot of people will be placing their first bet or signing up with a new sportsbook, trying to get the best numbers with the Super Bowl coming up here. So check out BetMGM and use that bonus code VIBONUS. I highly recommend it. Okay, Ian, let's recap a little bit what we saw yesterday, the NFC Championship game. It turned out to be a bit of a bummer. I think that's fair to say. The big story of the game was Brock Purdy going down, 31-7 win, and flat out shame on the 49ers here. If your fourth-string quarterback isn't good enough to carry you to a win in an NFC Championship game, then you don't deserve. No, you can't knock the 49ers. You can't criticize San Francisco at all here. That's just incredibly shitty luck from top to bottom, except for the quarterback position, I guess, this season. 49ers, I think there's a pretty good argument that they are the best team in football, but you get down to your fourth-string quarterback, and the fourth-string quarterback goes out, you got no chance, right? So shitty luck for them, and, you go just some wild takes on Twitter yesterday. Now, Shanahan did deserve to get criticized for not throwing the challenge flag on that catch by Devonta Smith, which turned out not to be a catch. But people criticizing Shanahan for not just playing McCaffrey out of the Wildcat. Guys, if you're complaining about that at that point, you just got to shut up. Simple is that. So you can't criticize the 49ers at all. Now, the fallout to this for the 49ers, going to be an interesting offseason. This is going to be one of the biggest storylines of the offseason. What did the 49ers do at the quarterback position? Had Purdy stayed in the game and had a good game, I think he fully solidifies himself as a starter. I do think he should be the starter going into next season, but it's complicated with Trey Lance and, you're hearing the whispers of Tom Brady. Again, I don't know about that. But Something else that came out of that is, okay, another easy win for the Eagles. You know, people are going to say the Eagles had an easy path to the Super Bowl. You know, they beat the living shit out of the Giants last week. You can't take anything away from the Philadelphia Eagles here, guys. They had an easy path to the Super Bowl because of the fact that they had such a dominant regular season, and they got that number 1 overall seed, and they got the bye. So there's going to be a lot of people criticizing the Eagles leading up to the Super Bowl, saying, hey, they had an easy schedule. They haven't really played anyone good, which is true, but you shouldn't punish a team for that, right? It's different if they're playing close games every week with the Houston Texans and, the Indianapolis Colts, who they did have a close game against. But for the most part, they beat the living shit out of the competition when it was a weaker opponent. And they're absolutely flying here in the playoffs. So, yeah, you can't take anything away from the Eagles. Just an amazing performance by them. I mean, they did score 31 points, and they were great in the red zone against a team that a lot of people are saying had the best defense in the NFL. So, Iain, your big takeaways from the NFC Championship game, what do you think? Bad luck for the 49ers and dominance for the Eagles, right?
Yeah, bad luck for the 49ers. The NFL needs to take a look at bringing back the third quarterback rule, which I don't know if you people know of this, or Joe, you know this, but I think it was from 1991, I believe was the date, up until 2010. Quarterbacks were allowed to dress a third quarterback, and it did not count against the limit of dressed players that they were allowed to have for each game. In 2011, they increased the amount of dressed players you could have in each game from 45 to 46, but they got rid of that third quarterback rule, which means teams started only dressing 2 quarterbacks. And now the result of that is, if 2 quarterbacks go down, your team is screwed, which is something that we unfortunately saw in the NFC Championship game. So, and I think Brady Quinn tweeted about it last night, former NFL quarterback. I think they need to bring back that third quarterback rule. It's close to... in the NHL, there is an emergency goaltender that is dressed, or not dressed, he's present at every single NHL game. Now, in the NHL, it's one emergency goaltender for both teams. You obviously can't do that in the NFL because you got to know the playbook. But these kinds of things are put in place in other sports, and I think it should be put in place in the NFL. So my big takeaway from the 49ers, yes, bad luck. The NFL needs to bring back the emergency third quarterback rule so teams can have a third quarterback on the sideline without accounting against their dressed players limit. And as far as the Eagles, yeah, when I got on Twitter after the game on my train ride home from the stadium, which is, by the way, a very fun experience, I was shocked to see how many people were tweeting thinking that the Eagles just aren't that good. Easy schedule, got lucky in the NFC Championship game. Even if they had a little bit of an easier schedule, their stats are still dominant. If they weren't that good of a team, they wouldn't be ranking first in opponent yards per play, first in opponent yards per pass attempt, highest sack percentage in the NFL. If they weren't that good, they'd still have mediocre stats even with a bad schedule. They've beat up on teams all season. They deserve to win the NFC, and they deserve to be favorites in the Super Bowl too. So I'm high on the Eagles. I've already placed my Super Bowl bet on them. I'm ready to go.
Okay, quick follow-up. Yep. Assuming everyone's healthy, who's starting week 1 at quarterback for the 49ers next season?
I think you got to go Brock Purdy. I mean, unless they go after Tom Brady. But I think Tom Brady's going to end up in Las Vegas. So, no, I think it's going to be Brock Purdy. Maybe, actually, well, yeah, I think there's going to be a preseason battle between Trey Lance and Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I thought Purdy was fantastic for 6 or 7 games and the stretch of the season. That's a pretty decent sample size, much better than what Trey Lance has shown us. When we talk about what they have invested in Trey Lance, they're not paying the guy a ton of money, right? They're both still on the rookie contract. Do you really justify that, okay, 2 years ago we gave up all these picks for this guy, so we have to play this guy Lance, who's shown us nothing, over Purdy, who's shown us a lot? I don't know. It should be interesting, a very interesting development over the offseason here. I think it's fair to say that Jimmy Garoppolo will pack the bag to another destination. I'm going to ask you about your experience attending the game here in a moment, Iain, but first let's weigh in on the AFC Championship game. I guess you could say a good game. It went right down to the wire, a lot of sloppiness, especially from the the referees. That's a big storyline coming out of this game. What was it? They give them another chance on third down. They get to run that one twice. Very questionable penalty calls. Not the one at the end when Mahomes is 2 feet out of bounds and the buddy full-on shoves him right in the back. That was a moronic penalty, but let's not let that distract from the fact that Kansas City actually outplayed the Bengals in that game, guys. Dig into the numbers. They were better on third down, more yards per play, fewer turnovers. They controlled the time of possession more. And the big key thing here, they did a better job taking advantage of the other team's weakness. What was the weakness for the Bengals going into that game? It was the offensive line. The Chiefs were really able to exploit that, and the Bengals didn't really have any answers. I thought they would have been going with a lot more quicker passes, but they didn't really respond. Meanwhile, what was the weakness for the Kansas City Chiefs? It was a bit of a hobbled Patrick Mahomes. Were the Bengals able to take advantage of that? No, not at all. He threw for over 300 yards. No, he looked pretty good. He didn't totally look himself, but yeah. Would you say the Bengals got screwed from a couple plays? Yes, but not from an entire game perspective. So I don't know. It's kind of shitty to see the NFL is grabbed without in full force there yesterday. One thing I did enjoy, though, I'm not necessarily a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, but they really took it personal. All of the trash talk leading up to the game, a lot of which was coming from the Cincinnati mayor, who needs to learn to keep his mouth shut for Travis Kelce at the end of the game. But some real, I don't know if you call it pettiness, but you saw Kelce after the game, people calling it that Burrowhead Field. He made a comment about that. But one that maybe flew under the radar a little bit in the post-game interview was that Patrick Mahomes was being interviewed. Made kind of a snarky remark about, I don't think we got any cigars to smoke or anything. And he kind of gave the camera a little bit of a look. I don't know if you guys caught that at all, but they took that trash talk very personal. So we're going to be seeing those two teams, I would guess, a handful more times in the AFC Championship game by the time the careers of Mahomes and Burrow have said and done. So an excellent rivalry there between these two teams. So, Ian, what do you think? Did the Bengals get absolutely screwed in that game or what?
No, I don't think so. They turned the ball over twice. Listen, I just got to say, because I'm guilty of this too. So I'm not completely innocent in this, but man, I am sick of people complaining about referees, about saying the NFL is rigged, about this should have happened, that should have happened, everyone's an idiot, this coach is an idiot, why'd they do that, the NFL is rigged, the NFL is rigged, the NFL is rigged, the refs want this team to win, the refs want, oh man, guys, can we just watch the game? And once again, I'm not innocent for this because I've complained about refs and stuff too, but holy shit, when you watch a game now and you look at Twitter, it's just nonstop. One play, the NFL is rigging this for the Bengals. The next play, the NFL is rigging this for the Chiefs. It's exhausting, guys. It's exhausting.
The second guessing is out of control. Why the hell did you call that play? Why didn't you call this play? Why are you throwing to this guy instead of this guy? Oh, you look at the replay and that guy's wide open down the field, criticizing the quarterback who's trying to make the split-second decision. The second guessing by the stoned and half drunk guy on his couch who's got food stains all over his shirt. And yes, I too am guilty of this at points too, but the second guessing and the complaining. And normal people don't go. A lot of people don't go on Twitter, so maybe our experience is different, and we got to stay off Twitter and social media in general. Like my dad, who doesn't even have an email address. He's probably never heard of Twitter, so his experience watching these games are probably a lot different than mine. But overall matchup, this is a pretty sexy game, right, Ian? You got to assume the Kansas City Chiefs, this 2 weeks is going to give them a chance to heal up. Of course, we know their receivers were all beat to shit yesterday, but I'm pretty satisfied with this matchup as an impartial observer. What do you think?
Yeah, sorry, the Super Bowl matchup?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one I said last week. This is the one I wanted to see. It's the Kelce Bowl. Who doesn't want to see that? Also, the Andy Reid Bowl. I think this matchup's great. I think it's the best possible matchup you could have, if like mid-season, if you would have picked the most exciting matchup in the Super Bowl is Chiefs-Eagles. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm seeing some weird Andy
Just look
Reid
at the
stuff.
spread. All you have to do is look at the spread. The spread is close, and it even opened Chiefs favorites. Now Eagles are favorites. That's a sign this should be a close game. I do hope the Chiefs get some of the receivers back though, because if their starting 2 receivers are Marquez Valdez-Scantling and the other guy, I can't even remember his name, that might be tough.
Sky Moore. Yeah, a bit too much Sky Moore on the field yesterday.
Yes.
They need to get Juju and a couple of these other guys back. So, yeah, both teams at full strength. Absolutely an excellent game. And just a quick reminder, guys, our Super Bowl betting extravaganza show will be this Friday. We're going to go a little bit early this season. You want to take advantage of some of these lines that are coming out, so make sure you stay tuned for that on Friday. Now, Iain, you attended the NFC Championship game yesterday. Your first time in Philadelphia. Your first time at a big NFL game. How was the experience?
It was really good. It seems fun to be an Eagles fan, or maybe it's just fun having a team in the playoffs and playing in the NFC Championship. But vibes were great. Obviously, I kind of hoped for a little bit of a closer game, but obviously the Eagles winning in a blowout was a lot more fun than if the 49ers won in a blowout. That would have been depressing. But I kind of like the Eagles fan base. They're passionate. I like their chant that they do every 5 seconds. The subway ride over, they just kept repeating the same chant over and over. It's fun. Philadelphia is an interesting city. Maybe I got to spend more time in the actual city.
Don't sugarcoat it. Don't sugarcoat it.
No,
Tell us your feelings.
No, I'll hang. I like the people. The people seem fun. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Trying to be polite. So I had a take on Twitter yesterday, and I got a lot of pushback on it. Unrelated to the city of Philadelphia. A take that I think Jalen Hurts really has the potential to become a megastar, not just in the NFL, but across sports. And there's a couple things, people saying it's way too early to be saying that. If he goes on to win a Super Bowl, you're going to see this guy in every single commercial in the NFL. He's getting all Dak's commercial spots, Sleep Number beds, the Pulo TV, whatever that other one Dak has. But yeah, Jalen Hurts has the potential to become an absolute megastar, guys. It's the full story is there. He checks a lot of boxes. First of all, he's a guy that a lot of people criticize coming into the league. Remember that one? Eagles fans, probably a lot of you guys walking that back, criticizing that pick of Jalen Hurts. So he's got the whole excellent underdog story to him. You know, he needed to go running out of Alabama after Tua came in there. Then no one really gave him a shot in the NFL. A couple seasons into it, he's emerged as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL now. You know, he's got a fun personality. You saw him serenading the fans. The Fly, Eagles Fly yesterday. So what do you think of that one, Iain? Do you think Hurts has the potential to become a megastar? It's not totally all about ability on the field, which he has. It's about marketability, you know? What do you think?
Yeah, and a big reason why he's marketable is, let's be honest, Jalen Hurts is an attractive guy. I can say that. He is. Everyone's all over Joe Burrow lately. Jalen Hurts might be the most attractive quarterback in the NFL. Let's be real.
That is another box that he checks. You know, they're giving Dak Prescott all these commercials? Are you kidding me? Jalen Hurts is going to be in those ads next year. So, yeah, I think this guy could be a major superstar. You're going to see him sign some big deals with the Nikes of the world. Maybe he can slip into a State Farm Insurance commercial.
Take over Aaron Rodgers' spot.
I like the idea of that. But it's kind of funny, the stories people tell themselves. And I've talked about this plenty over the course of the NFL season. People don't know what the hell they are doing with drafting and evaluating quarterback talent in the NFL. Why were people so low on Hurts? All he did was put up fantastic numbers in college. Great running ability, too. Seems like a hard worker. He's another box that he checks. He's the son of a coach. He's a very smart guy, very tough guy. Football IQ seems to be off the charts. So, yeah, Philadelphia fans, you got a good one. going from Carson Wentz to that. So yeah, Jalen Hurts. This is going to be a very fun Super Bowl. Lots of very fun stories for this game. Guys, let me tell you a little bit about the Vegas Insider app right now. It gives you all the major sports betting odds at your fingertips, along with picks and expert breakdowns. You can shop for the best odds, find props, features, and plenty more with the app. If you want more Vegas Insider content like our shows, videos, and podcasts, you can find it all on the app in the media section. Download the Vegas Insider app on Apple or Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. Okay, guys, we put a poll up on the Vegas Insider Twitter this morning. Who you rolling with? No shock. It's close, though. 52.6% of the people are on the favorite, the Eagles. Yeah, I do lean that way as well. You know, Patrick Mahomes almost completely blew that game, by the way, for the Kansas City Chiefs. Remember that that was one of the clumsiest plays all season. When he fumbled it, he was trying to pass and it slipped out of his hand. He almost absolutely blew that. So yeah, I side with the Eagles on that one. You're leaning Eagles as well, Iain?
Yes, I jumped on Eagles when the line was at a pick'em. So I tweeted it out. No surprise when I'm on this show and other shows this week and next week. I wanted to let people know as soon as I bet on the pick'em because I figured the odds would move. So and they have. Eagles. They were a 2.5 point favorite, back to 2, even 1.5 at some spots. I think the line might settle at 1.5. Would be my gut feeling. But yeah, I'm on the Eagles. I think their defense is still being underrated. Their defense is fantastic, and I think that's going to be the difference maker.
Yeah, very simple breakdown here. I think the offenses are about even, probably. But you match up the defenses, I don't think it's very close. I think the Eagles have the much better defense. Now, the big pushing point against that, you're going to hear it so many times this week, is the Eagles didn't play anybody this season. You're going to hear it a lot, but they did beat the shit out of a lot of that weak competition. So you can't really hold that against them. I do not think that is fair. So yeah, it will be interesting. I do think this line settles inside of 3, though. I don't think we're going to see it. It hasn't gotten to 3 yet, has it? So 2.5, 2 most books. So yeah, nice and gently inside of 3 points there. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, guys, viewer picks for today. Just a couple submissions here with a light night of sports betting action. Of course, our guy, Matty Puppy Sports. He likes, the big Howard game. He likes Howard minus 10.5. Who's that? South Carolina State?
Yes.
Yeah, just one of the worst teams in the country. 3-19 record and a 1-16 on the road. Howard has won and covered their last 4 by an average margin of 17.5 points. Wow. South Carolina State actually won their last game. They are 2-9 ATS after a win in their last 11. Yeah, I like that one, I think. I'd have to look into it a bit more, but good luck to Matty Puppy Sports. Give him a follow on Twitter. And a bit of an interesting one here. Schreckengoss, Nathan, he's been going with a bunch of under-the-radar plays. He's got one here for us. Kyle Connor, under 3.5 shots on goal, minus 130. Now, he's been slumping lately in the shots department. He's gone under this number in 3 of his last 4 and 6 of his last 7 at home. St. Louis goalies can't stop the puck. They stink, but the Blues are above average at limiting shot attempts as they are 12th in shots allowed over the last 10 games. And that is it for viewer picks. Okay, guys, it is now time for today's Handicapper Heat Check presented by VegasInsider.com, your home for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. VI handicapper Bill Marzano is on fire in the NBA, nailing 11 straight winners. Scott Rickenbach had back-to-back 4-1 all-sport days, and Nick Parsons is on a 10-2 NBA run and 8-3 college hoop streak. Visit VegasInsider.com/picks for tonight's best bets. That's your handicapper heat check. Say hot, bettors. Woo! All right, Iain, you got something kind of interesting going on this afternoon. Are you allowed to reveal what's taking place here?
Yeah, in 15 minutes, I'll be interviewing Eli Manning. So that'll be out sometime, probably tomorrow, if not later today. So keep an eye out for that. Gonna ask him the most important question of the day, which is how he feels about the Empire State Building changing their colors to green and white in celebration of the Eagles yesterday. A lot of people in New York not happy about that. So I'll get the thoughts of the king of New York himself, Eli Manning.
That was a total embarrassment. And they tried to save themselves by later in the evening, they honored the Kansas City Chiefs. They changed the lights to red and white. But is this just one guy at the controls, or did several people have a conversation? You got to think, like, damn, it's a pretty big deal. A lot of people working there. Was it one rogue asshole from Philadelphia? Maybe he pushes the button. What's going on there?
Well, so it is actually something that they do, and if you can actually look at the schedule of what the lights are going to be on the Empire State Building weeks in advance, and it was scheduled for the winner of the NFC and AFC Championship games to have their lights on. It just happened to be the Eagles that won, but I think you got to veto that. If an NFC East teams wins, I think the Empire State Building just needs to veto it and change the lights just to something else.
Yeah, what if the Bills went on to win the AFC title game? Then you're going to honor both East Division opponents? That's a disaster. What are they doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, not much going on for me this afternoon, Ian. Well, I will be recording my official Super Bowl pick, actually. That's going to be up on the Vegas Insider YouTube channel here probably by this evening. Make sure you stay tuned in for that. Make sure if you're on YouTube again, give us a like. Give us a sub. I also have to go get my hair cut. And I'm going to lift some weights, Ian.
Ooh, I'll be lifting some weights later today, too.
Oh. You're going to be working out with a dumbbell?
Yeah, a couple dumbbells, a little barbell action. You know how it is.
What's your favorite weight exercise? Glute thrust?
It's the bench press. That's everyone's favorite exercise.
Oh, yeah. Monday is International Chest Day, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Here's something weird I'll leave you with. There's I asked, do you think this is weird? I think it's extremely weird. I go to this gym, just like a normal, like, commercial gym or whatever, and there's a couple there, and they're like late 30s. I don't know if they're married. They walk around the gym holding hands.
Yes.
That's very bizarre, isn't it?
It is bizarre. So there are couples who go to the gym and it's like basically like it's like foreplay for them. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but like the guy will bench press and the girl will like sit on his lap as he like straddle him as he's bench pressing. Like, I've seen that in gyms before. Some couples get weird in the gym.
Yeah, very bizarre. Gym culture is very bizarre.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, guys. Ian will be right back with us Thursday. Of course, our Super Bowl betting show will be this Friday. I'm going to be right back with you tomorrow, digging into the NBA and I think some NHL. Light week in the NHL as their All-Star break approaches. So make sure you tune back in then. We thank Ian once again for joining us, guys. Best of luck with your bets tonight. Unless, of course, you are fading us. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Woo!